My name is Kristen, a devoted housewife married to Charles, a diligent company employee. Together, we've built a blissfully happy life, filled with love and mutual respect. Unlike the tales I'd heard of strained relationships between daughters-in-law and their husbands' families, whispers of covert, bitter conflicts, my bond with my mother-in-law, Charlotte, was a rare treasure. She was a beacon of warmth, her gentle smile a constant comfort, like a second mother to me. I recall one crisp autumn afternoon when she presented me with a hand-knitted cardigan. "Kristen, what do you think of this?" "I made it with you in mind," she said, her eyes twinkling with pride. "It's adorable, Charlotte. Your knitting is extraordinary," I replied, touched by her thoughtfulness. "The wind's turning chilly, dear. Wear it to stay warm," she advised. I even asked her to teach me her craft, a moment that deepened our bond. Charlotte's kindness extended beyond gestures. She'd supported us financially during tough times, a debt of gratitude I could never fully repay. Then, tragedy struck. "Kristen, Mom passed away in the hospital." Charles's voice trembled over the phone. Charlotte had battled terminal cancer for years, enduring grueling chemotherapy with unwavering grace. Her smiles during my visits masked her pain, a silent effort to shield us from worry. Her sudden death left me reeling, my appetite lost to grief. Yet, I resolved to honor her memory with dignity, preparing to attend her funeral at my husband's family home, determined to bid her farewell with a smile. As I readied myself, my cell phone buzzed insistently on the oak table. The screen displayed my husband's family number. Assuming Charles, who'd gone ahead to prepare the ceremony, had forgotten something, I answered casually. "Kristen, don't come to the funeral. Go to your parents' house in the countryside, now." His voice was frantic, a tone I'd never heard before. "Wait, what? Why? What's wrong?" I stammered, confusion swirling. "There's a problem at the venue. I'll explain when I see you," he said, hanging up abruptly. Bewildered but trusting, I redirected my plans, heading to my childhood home in the rural Midwest, the familiar fields stretching endlessly under a gray sky. At my parents' house, their faces mirrored my confusion. "Kristen, what's happening? Isn't today Charlotte's funeral?" my mother asked, ushering me inside. Without Charles, answers eluded us. An hour later, he burst through the door, his hand wrapped in a blood-stained bandage. "Kristen, are you okay?" he asked, concern etched on his face. "I'm fine, but what happened to your hand?" I replied, alarmed. With a heavy sigh, he revealed a shocking truth. His estranged sister, Jessica, 3 years his senior, was the cause. Jessica had been a rebellious daughter, entangled in countless troubles, petty crimes, run-ins with the law, and mounting debts Charlotte tirelessly covered. "I'll pay it back, Mom, I promise," Jessica would say, only to betray her mother's trust and vanish. The funeral chaos stemmed from Jessica's return. Upon learning of Charlotte's death, she callously demanded, "So, Mom's dead, huh? How much of the inheritance do I get?" Her audacity, profiting from Charlotte's legacy, was unforgivable. Enraged, I vowed to protect my mother-in-law's honor. A heated confrontation ensued, words sharp as knives. Jessica's greed led to her downfall, landing her in a cold, dark cell after legal repercussions. Through it all, I stood firm, ensuring Charlotte's memory remained untarnished, a testament to the love and respect we shared. Jessica, my husband Charles's older sister, had been estranged from the family for years, a shadow cast out with no contact until the day of her mother Charlotte's funeral. One might have hoped time would soften her edges, but when she stormed into her parents' home, her words cut like ice. "Mom's dead, right? How much of the inheritance can I get?" she demanded, her voice dripping with greed. Charles's face darkened with fury. How could she utter such callous words moments after their mother's passing? In a voice trembling with rage, he retorted, "You were disinherited years ago, Jessica." To Mom, her true daughter was Kristen, my wife. Jessica's eyes widened in disbelief. "Kristen? Who's that woman? It's absurd that she inherits while I, the real daughter, get nothing. Her face flushed crimson with rage, and in a fit of fury, she snatched Charles's phone, bit his hand, leaving a jagged wound, and stormed out, hurling venomous insults as she sped away in her car. Fearing she might have accessed our city home's address or my photo from the stolen phone's contacts, I remotely locked it, my heart pounding with unease. Charles, his expression heavy with guilt, confessed, "I'm sorry for hiding my sister's existence. It's a painful family secret." I was stunned, not only by the revelation of Jessica's existence, but by her despicable nature. To ease his distress, I suggested, "Let's stay at our rural home for a while, just to be safe." He nodded, confirming our countryside address wasn't stored on his phone. We retreated to the quiet Midwest, where rolling fields and chirping birds offered a semblance of peace. Each morning, as Charles drove off to work with a wave, "Call my spare phone if anything comes up, okay?" I forced a smile, masking a whirlwind of anxiety. What if Jessica found us? What if she attacked? Her enraged face haunted my thoughts, a specter from the funeral. Yet, days passed tranquilly, the rural calm slowly easing my fears. I began to hope Jessica's threat might fade like a bad dream. Then, one crisp morning, a knock shattered the quiet. "Is the couple Charles and Kristen at home?" A police officer from the local precinct asked, his tone grave. My stomach churned with dread. "What's this about?" I stammered. The officer revealed our city home had been burglarized, a call from the scene prompting his visit. I contacted Charles, and we rushed back to find our home in chaos, drawers yanked open, belongings strewn like debris after a storm. "Is anything missing?" the officer asked. We surveyed the wreckage. Bank books and valuables were intact, but a few $100s from our dresser had vanished. The officer added, "Neighbors reported a suspicious woman shouting outside your house, demanding Charles pay her back." Charles and I exchanged a glance. "I'm 90% sure it's Jessica," he said grimly. We detailed her disruption at the funeral, the stolen phone, and Charles's injury. The police, already aware of the phone incident, nodded knowingly. At the station, we gave a detailed account, returning to our rural home as dusk settled. Soon after, the police apprehended Jessica. Audaciously, she'd lingered in a nearby hotel, indulging in room service massages paid for with our stolen money. Her capture, while nonchalant, brought relief. Jessica's greed had led her to a cold, dark cell, a fitting end to her betrayal of Charlotte's memory and our peace. Though Jessica confessed to breaking into our home, she brazenly denied the burglary charge, claiming her actions weren't theft. The legal nuances of family disputes, as the police explained, muddied the waters, making the case less straightforward than a typical crime. We were summoned back to the police station, where an officer guided us through a dimly lit corridor to a small, sterile room. There, slumped in a metal chair, was a brunette woman, Jessica, her expression a mix of defiance and sulkiness. Without warning, she erupted. "Charles, how could you do this to your own family? It's unbelievable." Her voice dripped with indignation, devoid of remorse. Astonishingly, she seemed convinced she'd done nothing wrong, a stance she likely maintained during her interrogation. According to her, she hadn't intended to burglarize our home. She'd only broken in to discuss inheritance matters. Since we were absent, she claimed she had no choice but to shatter a window to enter. The stolen money, merely necessary to cover her stay at a nearby hotel, she insisted, shifting the blame onto us. Her self-serving logic was infuriating, painting us as the villains in her twisted narrative. The thought of such a volatile person harboring resentment against me sent a chill down my spine. What might have happened if I'd encountered her alone? The mere idea made my hands tremble. Meanwhile, Charles and Jessica clashed in a heated exchange. "You've got some nerve showing up after all these years, pretending to be family. Give me back my phone," Charles demanded, his voice taut with anger. "Fine, take it. You locked it right away, so it was useless anyway, just like you." Jessica sneered. "Family? Mom and I cut ties with you long ago. You have no claim to her inheritance." Charles shot back. Jessica's eyes flashed with rage. What? Leaving her money to a stranger's daughter instead of me? Was the old hag out of her mind? Her disrespect for Charlotte ignited a fire in me. Stop saying such disgraceful things, I shouted, unable to contain my outrage. Jessica turned her venomous glare on me. You're that Kristen woman, right? The one who stole my inheritance. I didn't steal anything, I retorted, my voice shaking. Her intense stare unnerved me, and as words failed, she smirked, relishing her perceived victory. The officer, sensing the escalating tension, cleared his throat. Let's all calm down, folks. This seems like a family matter. Why don't you discuss it privately first? We can address the charges later, he suggested, restoring a fragile calm. Days later, we convened at my in-laws' home, the air thick with tension. Charlotte's relatives gathered around a polished oak table in a living room adorned with woven carpets, the faint scent of her favorite lavender candles lingering. Jessica spoke first, her tone as arrogant as ever. If you give me my share of the inheritance, I'll let your past rudeness slide. You should thank my generosity. Her audacity was unchanged, unsurprising for someone who hadn't grown in over a decade. She repeatedly demanded, give me the inheritance, drop the charges. Charles, exasperated, reiterated, you were disinherited years ago. You get nothing. Undeterred, Jessica proposed, then give me money from your share? That's absurd. Charles snapped, his frustration palpable. I steadied myself, addressing her calmly. Jessica, did you read Charlotte's will? There was a section about you. She scoffed. I only care about the inheritance. The rest is just her whining about me. My heart sank at her callousness. No, Charlotte was concerned for you, filled with regret, I said. Then she should have given me the money, Jessica retorted, rolling her eyes. My blood boiled, yet a wave of sorrow washed over me. To her, Charlotte was merely a tool, not a mother. She didn't give you money because she knew it wouldn't change you, I said firmly. I won't let someone as despicable as you touch a cent of her legacy. Jessica's face twisted. You've got nerve, considering you're not even blood. And I don't want to hear that from someone who betrayed their own blood ties, I countered, my voice steady despite the storm within. Jessica faltered for a moment, her confidence wavering, but then her eyes narrowed into a sharp, venomous glare that sent a shiver through me. Her look was ugly, almost feral, yet this time I held her gaze, my resolve unshaken. There's nothing more to discuss. Please leave now, I said firmly, locking eyes with the intimidating woman across the table. Suddenly, Jessica lunged toward me, her face contorted with rage or perhaps desperation. Before she could reach me, Charles and other relatives swiftly restrained her, their voices a chorus of admonishment. Within 10 minutes, police officers arrived, their boots echoing on the hardwood floor of my in-laws' home. They escorted Jessica out, her defiance crumbling as she hurled insults, each word laced with bitterness. By the time she was bundled into the patrol car, her spirit had collapsed, her shoulders slumped, her once fiery demeanor reduced to a hollow shell. Later, we learned Jessica faced prison. Our report of the burglary and assault had been formally accepted. Unbeknownst to us, she was drowning in debt to loan sharks, her obsession with Charlotte's inheritance driven by this hidden desperation. Regardless, her actions sealed her fate, a miserable life behind bars, far from the light of redemption. She failed to grasp the depth of a mother's love, and as the saying goes, she made her bed and now must lie in it. Back at our tidied city home, the chaos of recent weeks finally settled. I stood beside Charles as he lit incense before Charlotte's portrait, the faint scent of sandalwood filling the air. Kristen, I was amazed at how bravely you faced Jessica, he said, his voice warm with pride. I smiled softly, clutching the cardigan Charlotte had knitted me. I reread your mother's will the day before, I confessed. Amid the turmoil, I hadn't had time to study it closely until then. The will was more than a legal document. It was a heartfelt letter, each word imbued with Charlotte's boundless love. She wrote of her concern for Jessica, harboring no grudges despite her daughter's betrayal, and expressed hope for our happiness as a couple. Her selflessness, even in her final days, moved me deeply. Tears welled as I gripped the cardigan, its soft stitches a tangible link to her kindness. Seeing my emotion, Charles tried to lighten the mood. "Kristen, will you knit something for me, too?" he teased gently. "Of course," I replied, wiping tears from my eyes with a determined smile. "I'll use your mother's techniques." In that moment, I vowed to honor Charlotte's legacy, living a life of joy and purpose, not just for us but for the woman who loved us like her own. Her inheritance, both material and emotional, would guide us forward. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribe for more.